sinistra, simple, March 20 to the third and the penultimate Friday, March 26, 27, 2026, 2026,
David, Mr. Lynch, David, it's Lady Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because if can't believe it. It's a Friday, once again. It's a Friday, once again. It's a Friday, once again. Once again. Once again. In Naples. Today totally cloudy. Yes, totally cloudy skies in general. White grey cloudy. Perhaps more grey than white. In general, white grey cloudy skies in general, and also seems to now. And if there is so wind, cold day così, perhaps more even and cold. Not in general this one, or vice versa, perhaps vice versa. There is a wind, this wind, cold and day. Considering the beer, perhaps more even cold, Chinese one at the same time is just interesting now. Where in general this is one, and it's really after 13 and 20 minutes. 6 and 85 and 16 Celsius, and it means that it's really soft, and it is less because soft because few hours ago, and we entered in the spring. So now, as absolute for me, the adjective for the spring is soft as for the autumn, and so since today I once again say until next summer the adjective is soft. So in fact it's a soft atmosphere. In fact, soft is classic adjective used for the spring appearance. First, with reports of first spring with reports for the season catechata nella svolta stagione Salentino non so che dire perché non riesce a fare la spassam sa non mi esce la spassam finché poi so che dire perché non riesce a dire tutto or so for years che the winter last December 21 now today also today overcome for years finally as you got the spring so all the seasons are completed and yes we besides we here in Italy we entered in it in the spring. It was the 6 on 10:01 a.m. In fact, 5 hours before. Perhaps noi I think about some bunch of positive. Indeed, I'm sure that I said everything is the same, but it's so set centimeters for the activation to Chinese, better than perhaps for me. And the day those we tell precious for the summer, the spring, and for the summer, the autumn, and the winter. In fact, for the summer, the adjective hot for the autumn, and soft for the winter, adjective cold, so that in general from season to be the classic adjective as regards the degrees, at least for me, I think I'm saying for the absolutely complete. Yes, no. Even if it's finally we are in this spring, we actually spring was 36, where at the same time it's still cold. So, yes, avere in genere in some way from you also good. Still, what the scatch was in general, to think I can say something it's for you, it's bad artist teams can be visible as soon as It's a Friday once again, I sono visto fuori da Friday. It's a Friday once again, I sono visto fuori da Friday. It's a Friday once again, I sono visto fuori da Friday. I should have got this. I should have got this. Fantastic, electric, blue, dark blue and white, the 6 razor, also name teleport. Yes, because also the previous, the 5th crashed in the week, I think of 15, if not 15, 14, if I go, yes, should be week of 15 if I go. As you can see here, the previous, beautiful red, black and also white, the 5th. this creation. So since I also continue like the fact that is quick about the breakfast, yes, with this should be done in the video, but the news with one day or one time and you don't choose better. The press is Friday, just started to show it to you, and it repeat should be the week of 15, 14, 5 ago, and this is good because obviously is new, and only for noise it my bear at least 30 minutes better share it in 30 minutes, and through this for the moment. One round was I think it's new but also for other aspects, and yes, now I showed you better once again with perhaps just with this closer shot because perhaps just before you don't see well. So dark blue and also white, and in fact for the colors it remembers to me the fourth one in Australia with airports, because as you in fact notice the first one was also blue and white, even if a light blue in this case, while here a bit dark blue and white. And also for other aspects also remember to me the first one, the second, and if I don't I can show to you the first one, the second, because I can't have them unfortunately. Yes, and I repeat this or also repeat this is the six reason nostro reports, and in general this is the 40 anni questa proprio se porta in instante non insieme a me se caro sta posto sta bigia ti ma che buona chance che si può non si much better me music some also is also this recipe regat. Ingrid af, finché tre persone, si dice che c'è si fuori, si che niente fanno, si che si inizia su. Ate, in pratica siamo sia, si anticipi. Stai fuori dove dice. Yes, si cortine sono queste cortine già, se mi ripeti istantaneamente. You should have most perfect. At least suppose the fact as you notice in the repeat is sky, totally cloudy, repeat, white grey, perhaps more grey, in general totally cloudy, and consequently I think more of non last days, because last days, most of the days with them, all the last days, or also week, perhaps also 10 days, with fino a 8 per scansazione are not clearly, but I mean more last weeks, considering the last weeks, considering according to what I read for today, consider my sensations, I think it's also practically almost sure that, or it's almost sure that later in the afternoon, obviously in the afternoon, it became at some point I think darker, bleaker, and also that might rain in front of a few moments. So in fact, I think better see it where we are in, because I think I really goes to light rain. So let's see what happens. But so is dopo ovviamente non ci penso Wizards, ma su questi inizi piazzi come scritto di chi ha band Maximo sulla salita quello. So se solo no, mi dico lui quindi non ho fatto cortini in frase, non per frase, mix in frase si corti senza last. Abbiamo mangasting some also burst the very particular partita, but to the only for was no, as it was the press curtain was a beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted with branches, stripped the best fact for the press curtain, and all the things written sono che si in my comment section. See read in one of my comments comment section should be the point third in the first comment in fact one of them is read the comment section. I don't know if you can see the test well from shot in your mini. I think of yes, from it I think of it. On one end I think of yes. See the main flowers mixed plants. I don't know, in fact even better, surely better is a shot pratically first part of the video which I usually show you the better scattazione in generale from the scarsi community quindi scarsi room, so as absolutely non necessarily quindi era amico room. More from a web perspective, also from this practical shot similar to classical shot film non interessivo for the fino a 37 was really November 1, 32, as should be really November 1, 32, if not should be interessivo for the press curtain repeater, beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted with benches ups, also for the first curtain so the reports caro curtain if not remember exactly should the caro curtain is stealing come immagine one day so non tempo uscito I was saying and this shot
It also leads to the fact that both one is the creation of also this, but more when there is effectism. Adesso read a little speech sentence string is super per scurtare ripeti più tutti i più prende per invece la possibilità che si possa fare per curtin la nostra forza cavertini in funzione che non tactile now si dite also disegno curtin sapere la storia per repeat expression also in this for fatams e so that is little speech sentence is but also always better visible for me sentire di grandi shot si fanno simiti con la genere shot branches. Zagari riuscito a diviso effettivamente diviso per stesso la struttura si parte tutto su parte set sul disegno attivismo nasce da it speech sense per il solito se vale lo solito ripeto once in battle so no it's better visible for me it sentirete inizio shot si fa insieme con le shot and finally per me col keyboard Ajax in 40 PG 625 also is the shot and since weeks also from iniziato a shot perché filmato John 24 and ratings also the birthday of the great legendary sheriff to pick sheriff Harry Truman or better the great Michael Lonton's birthday yes it is the birthday in the today film iniziato a shot which you can see the actual condition of the kilowatt actual condition since a better actual condition since December 2nd 2023 this is factory the main problem is the fact that there is no light on the display. Also the little problem is better than the little problem, but the main point is the fact that there is no light on the display, and when you are so many times try to fix it. Getting more people of the giant boats is getting it over. So many systems. So myself as the skills and finally, I hope you learn it breakfast. Let's let in general. Also nice فكرة ناس اللي تمي فماسي سمي بين ساس سمبر فوان فكرة تكوش وستان سليت in general for the people ball for my level at not to my arts so my second not to be romantic breakfast stars better seen winter period in particular in between December January and February less in February but less was in 6 months and April until once again next December January so practically since the spring period in the spring it's going better for me but at the same time it's but all important is very good which is my start in fact make a student for me it's do it better in clinical attività in parte materiale su esiste tu finché tre cose si cose ma stesso strategico ora tu ripeti ma tu cosa sei Diego e tu so nice at the same time no more than yes in fact successful and just really obviously just running quarter 13 and 20 minutes. Fact, reporting the show, same set it's a me also be important so memory young and as we always see some most beautiful things are for absolutely and as soon as more than one yes it's going to think it should be more than one yeah I also sto code think fact like expect of the reason Friday or the next week about the breakfast as regard the reason see just before this is 6.6 reason the beautiful blue black, dark blue and white say issue with you just before in specific part it's also members to me the fourth one was the first one fact is blue and white means is light blue and also the other reasons for other aspects and as regard the time I think I'm using it since the week of 15 if not 15 14 oh yes it should be 15 for the blue and it's whether SEC should be that video but we usually 1 year 1000 and that's because the better PCD to attention status using the speech and should you the reason Friday and for example short of business to take away tomorrow money and some reason for example biscuits from the fact that I remember comes to be biscuits and yes but I think I don't miss not missing steps chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chip chocolate chips and if not a mistake was set to be some missing but in particular things that really was read and easy for someone about me fact which starts to only get to go music but also as quick shot for the shot back and video set shot and I think ultimazione che uso lo sto conto ci o da animals up sit animals also ne che lo sto conto ci net vira sono ci pezzo per lo so more it's quick si finisce now si non si divertito si think 297 98 and 90 pratica delle salto esame non esiste are the mentioned and the main amounts I mentioned before the repeated should be 8 animals e sapere l'uso di che lo sto conto ci deve net vira sono ci pezzo per e cioè si è hai pattern certi detto once again mix o linux e quindi siamo fecking the breakfast questa è una bomba si via partita per me ma messo sì che se la scrive c'è questo so che morte mania so corsa mi finito questo tanto se ti video e pensavo che fosse tolle questo breakfast questo è mega bomba siamo tutti che qualsiasi non farabile sia strada core mi dai anzi fammi sarse una presa position perhaps also che segue dei palma fissa presa position ma in generale questa è una presa position because activist presa position from all'interno di palma dar ciò ci pesa infatti questa true come non dico because they are really super bar sì, tomorrow suppose fa un track perché no until tomorrow what to do 11 ma I will see